Hey guys, it's Tsuki, and today I'm making a video, not because I was planning to, but just because something happened earlier and I just wanted to talk about it. This isn't going to be scripted or anything, so I'm just going to be talking for a few minutes, and yeah, that's what you guys are in for. So, if you specifically just watch me here on YouTube, watch my guides or my videos and ask questions here and there, you probably wouldn't know that I'm actually not a particularly I wouldn't consider myself a very nice person. By that I mean I'm not like a complete jerk or anything. I do I am very sarcastic. I like to make fun of others. I like to make jabs at others, but these are my friends, mind you, like people I know, people that are in the free company, and they know that's my personality, and they're fine with it, and we all just kind of have fun together. But when it comes to people who I've come across randomly in the duty finder or the party finder or wherever on my server, and they just want to talk to me or whatever, they've seen my videos, they want to say hi. I'm pretty nice. I'm pretty, courteous. I say hello, I say goodbye. I don't really step out of line and say much else other than that, even though will see something that is probably wrong, like someone messing up the rotation or something like that. That's, perfectly fine. It's the duty finder or whatever. I don't really step out of line unless it's like something that's really bringing the party or the run down. I don't really talk unless someone asks a question or it's to say hello or something like that. That being said, I do like I say, I do complain a lot. I do make fun of, sometimes I'll be like to my free company, I have this black mage who just wants to cast Fire 3 all the time. And, that doesn't really go beyond that. I'm not like making fun of them. Sometimes I'll pull them aside and say, hey, this is how you actually do your rotation. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to try and explain it because, when you do actually try to explain it from firsthand experience, you do get people who either don't listen, completely ignore you, or they get really defensive and try to say that you're wrong and that the way they're playing is fine. And it's whatever. You pay for the game. You can play however you want. I mean, I'm not bringing this person to a raid or anything, so it doesn't particularly matter to me if they want to play their job incorrectly for this one run that I'm going to be doing that might last a few minutes longer just because they're not doing their job as good as they could be. But that being said, I did have a run earlier today. I was doing leveling roulette, and I was doing it on Scholar because it was healer adventure in need, and usually I do tank leveling roulette because that's usually what the adventure in need is tank, the tank role. But today I was doing it as healer, as Scholar, and I got a tank. It was the Sunken Temple of Karn normal mode, and I got a tank level 37, and her gear was absolute crap. And I mean that too, it was absolute crap. And it was the first time I really took the time to notice that all of the leveling dungeons don't actually have an item level minimum requirement. Only the low 50 and 60 dungeons do, which kind of boggles my mind a bit because it could benefit from a minimum item level requirement, but it is not there. And I don't know, it's the first time I actually took the time to notice it. And I took a couple screenshots of the gear she had, and I'll put it somewhere on the screen so you guys can see as well. I'm going to actually just bring it up here so I can look at it myself. And if you look at it, you can see she doesn't even have any accessories. Now, that's not the biggest deal this low level for most jobs and most classes, just because, it's not that huge of a boost. But for tanks in particular, Vitality does double duty now with the changes that was given to it, and I think patch 3.2, or was that patch 3.25? I don't remember. I think it's patch 3.2 where they made Vitality now give you HP and skill with your damage, so it actually does double duty. So it's one of the more important stats to actually make sure you're keeping up to date on. But no accessories. The only accessory she has is the brand new ring, which is the ring you get for doing um, the little learning exercises things that you can do that were added with the mentor system. And if you complete all of that, you get a bunch of gear, and you also get this ring that increases your XP and whatever. And that's the only ring she has. And as for her gear, she has this sword. I guess. Level 28 high quality, which, it's fine. It's a few levels out of date for the dungeon, but, it's high quality, it's level 28, it's decent, it's not hindering. The shield was like level 23 non-quality. Again, it doesn't really matter that much. The rest of her gear, though, is, it's all DPS gear except for two pieces, the gloves and the boots. The boots were level 15 tank gear, which is quite outdated, and the gloves were level 25 non-quality tank gloves, and the rest were all DPS gear, which is absolute. I don't even know. So this person walks into Karn with this gear, and she's constantly losing aggro to everything. She's taking a lot of damage because she doesn't have very high defense. She doesn't have very much HP to soak the damage either because she is wearing DPS gear and also has no accessories. And yeah, and then she also likes to point out to the other people in the party, the Dragoon and the Black Mage, who weren't doing their rotations properly, that they were doing the rotations wrong. Even though she herself walked into this dungeon without wearing the proper gear that she needs as the tank. Now, when you're leveling, I get that, you don't have all the gil you need to get all the gear to stay up to date, and it's not usually a huge deal if your gear isn't, up to date. If it's like a few levels outdated, usually, at the very least, you try to keep your weapon updated. That's the tip I would give you. But as a tank, it is actually pretty important to keep track of your gear and to keep it updated. And if you are like already level 60 or whatever, then there really is no excuse as to why you can't afford to get gear for leveling that is like level 35 is the is Karn's level. So I don't know how you not have the resources or anything to get yourself the gear that you need. And scrolling over to this other screenshot I took, I actually decided to take the time to look at her search info, and she has quite a few 60s, so whatever. But the things that I would like to point out is that she has 60 all crafters. 60 all crafters, which means that she is very capable of crafting herself gear to make sure that she is taking less damage, that she is properly mitigating damage as a tank, and that she is actually able to hold aggro, something she was not able to do. She constantly lost aggro to the Black Mage, who she actually was telling was doing the rotation wrong. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what was up with that, why you're telling the person that's doing the rotation wrong that the rotation is wrong when they're pulling off of you. So that says something about your performance. But yeah, you're level 60 all crafters, which basically just tells me it's not the fact that she doesn't have the gil, she doesn't have the resources to make her own gear, it's just that she's too lazy to, and it really just brought the run down for everyone involved. It took longer, there was a lot more deaths than there had to be, because there was this one pull she did, I didn't get a screenshot of this, where she pulled like 6 enemies at once with the gear she had, and her gear was absolute garbage. The Dragoon had more HP than she did. But yeah, that was my experience, and she was a complete jerk about it as well. I said, you should probably get some more gear next time. She's like, I will do what I want. Next time, if you have such a problem with it, then why don't you tank? And I was like, I would have tanked if it was adventure need, but it wasn't. It was healer, so I healed. But that's besides the point. It really, if you're a new player, I can understand. Again, like if you didn't have the money to get resources, but even then, if you are going to tank, that is something you should really keep in mind. Is that you kind of need to keep track of your gear and keep it at least slightly up to date, because again, you are the one who the gear actually matters for. If the DPS doesn't have the gear, it's not that big of a deal. You do slightly less DPS, the run takes a little bit longer. It doesn't really matter. If you're a healer who doesn't have enough gear, again, it doesn't really matter that much. Your heals will do enough healing that it's not going to matter. You might not be able to do much DPS as you could with up-to-date gear, but again, it doesn't matter. But as a tank, all of your gear matters because it affects your damage, and it also affects how much damage you take and how much health you have, which are two very big factors because they are constantly being tested with every part of the run. Everything that hits you is testing how much damage you take and how much HP you have. So it is actually very important as a tank to keep your gear up to date. And I don't know, that's just what I wanted to say. It was just, I don't know, it was crazy. I usually don't have that many horrible runs with horrible people like that. But that was just the exception, and I just wanted to make video ranting about it a bit, and also just giving a little reminder out there for people who might watch this video and be leveling tanks and not actually have the common sense to know this already. But gear is important as a tank, in case you didn't know. It's very important. Please keep your gear up to date. And that's all I have for you today. Not a video that's traditionally what I do. Usually I only do guides when I'm talking like this. But yeah, today was a rant, and trust me, I have very more rants, very much more rants. That's not even English, but I don't care. I have a lot more rants that I could do about plenty of other things that I never do. But maybe it could start some conversations. Maybe I'll post more of these type of videos in the future. But yeah, that was just something I just had to get off my chest at this particular time. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. Please continue to give me your support. I will be trying to get out some more videos, especially with 3.3 coming out scheduled for June 7th. We know that now because I just watched the live letter earlier this morning. So that's exciting. I will see you guys later. Sayonara. Bye bye.